And in the building, man. What's good with my YouTube universe? Man, had a dope interview with Day One. Real dope bill. Big shout out to him, man. We had a real dope bill tonight. You can check that replay out on the blog talk link. Real solid dude, man. Real solid dude. One of the best producers out in the West right now. He's killing it. And speaking of the West Coast, first of all, I want to give a big rest in peace to Slim 400. My thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. Total loss, man. I mean, it's like every other week we saying rest in peace to somebody, man. This death plague is crazy. But Slim 400 was, when I heard, one thing I give about him, very solid dude, man. One of the few people that really spoke up on this Rat 9 situation. He was really with it. And he, unfortunately with him being with it, he paid the price. But we actually was gonna try to get Slim on the show probably sometime next year. But, schedules, matchy schedules. But he did drop a line for us because, in case y'all don't know, I do promotions for Cocaine and Buddy Boy Entertainment. So he know of us, but at the same time, we never really got a chance to really make that situation happen. So total loss, man. Total loss for the West Coast. Dude was a real dope rapper. I mean, it's just tragic, man. I mean, it's just like every other week we saying rest in peace to somebody. And we just hope that eventually things can calm down for once before the year is over with. But to the motivation behind this video here. Now, people looking at this title and like, where are you going with this? Well, for those who don't know, I saw a clip on the Kali. And it's from where DJ Vlad did an interview with DJ Academics on his podcast. So let me go ahead and play a little bit of this here. Hold on 1 second. Damn, hold on. Okay, there we go.
I just felt like it might be a valuable property in the future, and if I could get it at a reasonable price, I could sort of, it could sort of be the yin to my yang, you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, here's sort of like a traditional hip hop platform. There's everyone still wanted to be on the cover of a magazine for whatever reason, and they do more sort of music based stuff, whereas my stuff is a little bit different. So it was just, okay, it might be a good business to just own. But
how far did you get in, like, negotiating that?
Me and the publisher had a couple conversations, like in New Orleans, like how I mentioned that one weekend. We sat down and we talked about it, but they were like, they wanted like a price, but I couldn't look at any of their financials, and I'm like, this is not a serious conversation. We're not going to have this type of conversation.
Were they trying to sell that shit for over $10 million?
No. Well, I think it was like a few million, but it ended up getting,
really? No,
yeah, it was something like that. But at the time,
like, it was 3-4 million.
At the time, this was, I think, before the freshman thing had really taken off.
Now he's talking about buying double XL.
No man's land at the time.
Now, see, let me say this. See, this is a problem that I have with a lot of us when it comes to us creating a lot of these publications. We create something real fly. We create something real unique. We sell it to the lowest bidder. Now Double XL is ran by CAX. And ever since then, Elliot Wilson, he cashed out. Now he's over there at Tidal. You know what I'm saying? Nut Jock and Jay-Z. But what are we gaining out of that? See, it's just the same rinse, wash, repeat. We create something fly. Instead of building with your brothers within that circle to help you keep this business going, we sell it to the lowest bidder, and they own it, and they cash out. Even when now with Swiss Beats and Timberland, they sold Versus the Thriller. Yeah, they got a big bag for them, but we don't own it now. But go on.
Spanish media company.
Oh, did they?
Eventually, yeah. Like I think, and I remember when I hit him, I said, "Oh," he's like, "I didn't even know about it. I guess it went above his pay grade when it got sold." But yeah, Shit.
Own double XL. Hey,
I might buy BET at one point.
See?
No. See, this is where
I might buy it.
No, this is where I had to. I said it. I said
I might buy it.
Vlad or Adam cannot buy BT. This is where I gotta come in.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's disrespectful.
Well, I mean, who owns MTV now, right? It's Viacom.
It's
not like
BT as well.
It's not like Bob Johnson owns it still.
You're right. But I'm gonna be honest.
I'm not saying I'm gonna run it, but I might own it. No, I can't do it.
No, actually, truth be told, something like that needs to happen. I'm just saying, just out of principle.
Yeah, I mean,
academics is gonna make sure we'll give you double XL. You get double XL, you could even get the source.
I don't want the source.
I'm not a versus fan. I'm black icons battling each other. It's us, not them. You know what it is. Nah, what about the versus? It's not really the competitors themselves. It's the fans. I love the versus. It's very entertaining, but it's not really the artists. It's the stands that keep the beefs going. You hear what I'm saying? It's not the artists, because for the most part, Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3 6 Mafia, they chilling. They good now. They got their checks. It's these fans that's keeping the wedge going. They the ones arguing. Same with Gucci and Jeezy. They still argue, but they good now. So the versus is a great thing, because now we're getting an introduction of the catalog for these other artists. But it's these fans that keep the divisive thing going. Now, I love competition much as the next man, but when it comes to coming together at the end, that's what I'm all about. But I see, notice the arrogance behind that shit. Where he talk about, I'm gonna own it. I'm not gonna say I run it, but I want to own it. Y'all let the arrogance of this dude come in and own something black owned, knowing how we feel about him. Y'all let these parasites in this culture, man. Like, and y'all niggas still giving him interviews. And I ain't saying no names, some I know personally. Y'all giving this dude interviews based off his credibility. The man lies about a lot of this stuff. Like when he said he don't pay his guests, but yet he does. And y'all niggas still going over there? Like, come on, man. But go on.
You can keep that trash.
You can get the source. Like, if we're thinking about really other...
Seeing these corny niggas debating off hip-hop prestige is just disgusting.
You could get BT... No, not BT. BT just... If you get BT, you got to change the name.
I might buy Revolt.
See?
One day. Or at least a YouTube channel.
I've heard interesting things about
Might be for sale.
I've heard that Diddy might be open.
Diddy doesn't give a shit about Revolt. Diddy.
I heard the opposite. I heard he really. No. I heard Diddy
I know people in the company. You know what Diddy cares about?
Yeah.
Ciroc. That's where the real money's coming from.
Yeah. But his name and reputation is more on the line for Revolt.
It's all a con, y'all.
At the end of the day, Diddy's a business person. He's gonna focus on where the money's at. Yeah.
Okay.
Now Vlad's a liar himself, so you could take that for a grain of salt. But one thing that these parasites do is now they plant the seed. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors at Revolt. I don't even go in those buildings. But now the seed is planted to where, okay, does he own Revolt or does he not? That's the question. And see, this is a problem that I've had with this so-called black excellence bullshit. They don't own anything. It's all photo ops. It's just a bunch of niggas, rich niggas wearing suits, going to brunches every year at the Grammys, having that image. But if you really look, and I'm not talking about just owning a subsidiary label. I'm talking about ownership to where you could hire black people. And now, you may say, Puffy is in financial trouble with running Revolt. Revolt is bleeding money. Why not build with people in your circle to keep it intact? All these millionaires in your circle, my nigga, and you mean to tell me one of them can't help you with Revolt and at least ownership? You just got to just sell it to the lowest bidder? Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, something ain't adding up. You can't call Jay Or vice versa with Jay with Title. You can't call each other. You can't call Jay Prince. You can't call Master P. Like, all these niggas brag about all this money, but I don't see any ownership. But you, at the same time, a lot of y'all stands, y'all point the fingers at us, calling us a crab, calling us haters, because we see through the facade of this bullshit that they're selling us. So now, I don't know if this is true or not, but the question is now out there. How much do these dudes really own? Y'all get caught up in these numbers. Y'all get caught up in these networks. Y'all get caught up in the Instagram posts and what these dudes be talking about. But you really break it down, they're in the paperwork, their names are not really there. But they have the image. They're probably the faces of these brands. That's what Vladimir knows.
And I know we're kind of like, I think, in tongue-in-cheek saying, okay, that could be whatever. But do you think, even in acquiring things, I've wanted to get to that place where, I have enough capital where if I see something that could either help what I'm doing or even potentially before it becomes a competitor.
Now listen to what he's saying.
Could you even reasonably see XXL in 2021, Revolt, as anything as a financial, like, would it even make sense to buy, be honest? Like, you're not buying.
Probably not. I mean, but it depends on the price. And it depends on the catalog. It depends on, like...
Revolt don't got no goddamn catalog? What are you going to do? Are you going to own Joe's show? That's what they had. They had that. Then
there are a few cool shows on there.
And they had Justin LeBoy had a show on there.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name?
Man.
The Big Facts podcast is on there.
This is an L at all fronts.
Nah, on the YouTube side.
Oh, okay.
Not the podcast side. Charlamagne does podcast deals. The black.
Y'all don't realize how much of an L this looks to us, man. You got these two dweebs discussing ownership of something that we created. And just like I said the other day with Ack, he don't know nothing about this culture at all. The only thing he knows is the violence, the image, the drama, and what's hot at the moment. He don't know jack shit about hip hop, man. If you really put him in a chamber to discuss the origins of this culture, he can't tell you that. Same with Vlad. Now Vlad, to his credit, just like I said, he was in the Cypress Hill video in 1993 with Insane to the Membrane. He somewhat knows of the culture, but that doesn't mean he's for the culture. Leo Colin knows a lot about black culture, but that don't mean he's for the culture. There's a totally different thing. So this is where we dropped the ball at, man, because you mean to tell me with all this big money talk these dudes be having, all these cars, these chains, these houses, Puff doing, especially Puff, because Puff is extra with it. So you mean to tell me you don't own this and you had people believing that you did? Same with Jay. Everybody was believing Jay-Z run his streaming site. He does not. He sold it. He sold Tidal. And see, it's benefiting them. They don't care about black people like that. It's benefiting them. I respect them for being who they are, a success story, and building their careers. But when it comes to really creating a polite for black people, these are not the guys. These are not the guys to do it. So, meanwhile, the people below them, we're caught up in the facade. Like, oh, he's got $1 billion. Puff is worth this. Biggie is worth this. I'm not Biggie. Jay is worth this. Beyonce's worth this. But they don't own anything, B. Just like what Yuck Mouth talk about. If these dudes really owned it, they should be playing executive positions. Why Jay still rapping? Why Beyonce still singing? They got those contracts. They signed those 360s with Live Nation. They got to honor those. So these guys are nothing more than rich employees. They happen to have more leverage than us to a more finer state of life, but at the end of the day, they still working. And I know some people gonna look at this video and be all mad, but I'm like, look, I see beyond the facade. Y'all look at these brunches. Y'all look at the champagne, the tight suits, rich niggas coming around taking selfies, kikiing. It's nothing but a front, bro. It's nothing but a big front. Because just like I talked about, this is another part one of the problems that we deal with. We got to deal with these fake imageries out there, and that's really playing a role in our mind that we have to be like these niggas. And they don't own nothing that more than what we do. They just happen to have more money and more fame. But go on.
That's all audio. That's all audio only. You know what I'm saying? But they
have YouTube content. It shouldn't even be a discussion.
May or may not be valuable. You gotta understand. A lot of times when I speak to people, and you know, like we pay guests. We're open to buying content, but a lot of times you speak to someone and it's like, oh,
he just said it. All you Vlad stands, we pay guests. He said it right out of his mouth. So don't come in my page talk about, oh, he hating on Vlad. Oh, he jealous because the white man doing better. Eat a dick. I'm about telling the truth, man. So the way I'm looking at it right now, the fact that our business has not been handled to that magnitude to where these two dweebs can discuss our business so freely, it's an L on its part within itself. Imagine dudes that haven't even walked the blocks of and know the reps of this culture sitting there just talking about buying it like it ain't nothing, buying a piece of our history. You should feel insulted. They should feel insulted behind this, man. It's really a slap in the face to people that really put it down. And you leading on people to believe that you really running this chip, but you're really not. So what's really going on? And I noticed this too. I noticed that Puff, he took down all his pictures on Instagram. What's going on with that? I mean, there's a lot of questions out there. This stuff doesn't seem right. It don't add up. It don't really add up to me at all. And I ain't the biggest conspiracy theorist at all, but there's a lot of fronting going on. The same way where everybody was trying to call me a crab because I said Jay-Z didn't own the Nets. He didn't own the Nets. He was a face of the Nets. He owned like a percentage of it. But he cashed out and went elsewhere. These guys do nothing but cash out. They sell you that imagery of ownership, but in reality, they don't really own it. Then they go ahead and cash out and move on to the next best thing, to the bigger bag. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because if it really was about ownership, they'd be working together to keep everything black owned. It's all a front, man. It's all a front to get you to buy their product. And the consumers follow every time. Hook, line, and sinker. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's all about branding and selling your image. Just like when Jay-Z did that freestyle, dissing all these streaming companies, made it like he's for the people, when in reality, it was nothing more than a front. You sell black empowerment to get our dollars, but they don't move in them black empowerment circles like that. I mean, you just got to be real and colorful like it is. And I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, he talk about Jay and Beyonce." I'm like, look, it ain't like we're gonna get an interview with him, so it is what it is. We got to keep it real, man. We can't keep butt kissing, thinking we gonna get something out of it, man. We got to call things out for what it is. And these guys are selling us the image that they're not really maintaining. I'm not saying they're not rich. I'm not saying they don't deserve any money. They work hard to get there. Puffy is one of the hardest working men in show business. I give him that. Jay-Z, one of the hardest working men in show business. I give him that. But when you selling us an image of black empowerment and black ownership, and you niggas don't really own it, that's what I have a problem with. That's what I have a real problem with. And now you having us believing that you owning this, and therefore when you put everybody in a power position, just like with Rock Nation. And I talked to a friend of mine about this, and she said that guaranteed when Rock Nation hit a struggle or a stride, he gonna sell it off. and all those niggas is gonna be left on the ship. Just like, what's that company name that's ran by shit? What's the name of that company? Cardi B is under that label. The Migos is under that label. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Pardon my name. Pardon my knowledge of this sometime. Hold on, I gotta look it up. Hold on, let me look it up right quick. Cardi B label. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's Atlantic right now. Quality Control. That's it. It's Quality Control. Yeah, it's Quality Control. Yeah, it said Quality Control. Has Atlanta bases. Who else is under there? Migos is under there. Hold on, I'm gonna look up. There's a lot of people under this label here, but they sold it off too. They sold the rights to it. Quality Control. Man, keep getting these pop-ups, man. Okay. We get somewhere right there. Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, City Girls, Duke Deuce, Leighton Green. Basically, a lot of the hot acts. They're pretty much a part of that. And I heard they sold it off to some China company. Look that up. It's somewhere up there. They cashed out too. So therefore, all the people, they're basically owned by this Chinese company. A lot of that is going on. A lot of that is going on, man. So I'm about to go ahead and make this phone call real quick. Let me know what you guys think of this page here. I mean, subscribe, hit the like button. Feel free to build. Catch me tomorrow and catch me Sunday. Off the Cuff Radio, Screwball Radio. Holla.